Welcome to Ask the Experts, a brand new feature I'm doing to make sure that all your questions get answered, and it's available exclusively right here in the Creative Cashflow Plus group. Okay, so if you're a member, make sure you submit your questions on the Ask the Experts for a chance for me to do a deep dive into the topic. So today I'm going to be answering one of Helen's questions, which is, how do I handle pets in my HMOs? And the general gist is that Helen has moved a tenant in, and then she's popped back to do some more viewings, and she's seen evidence of a dog. And now it's become apparent the tenant has moved in a dog into the property, which is clearly against the tenancy, the terms of the tenancy. Which brings me to, how do you handle it? So this is tough because people love animals, people want animals, people like pets, and why should people in HMOs not have the opportunity to have pets? But then to the same extent, it's tough because if you're in a HMO with people with allergies or fears of dogs, it does become complicated. So for the purpose of this video, we're not going to debate whether it's morally right or wrong. We're just going to debate what Helen can do in this situation, because fundamentally, the first thing you need to check is it breaking the laws of the tenancy agreement that you've signed with them? If it is, then that's a breach of the agreement. And you will find in your agreement that if there's any breach, then you can then start to serve certain notices. A top tip, you really need to be a member of either the NRLA, the National Residential Landlord Association, or potentially NALA, who will give you advice on such things, because I don't know the sections by heart, the section 21, section 8s and all kinds of stuff. But what I do know is that whenever I'm unsure, I phone them up and they will break it down for me. Okay, so that's the NRLA, or you've got ALA, great advice lines for landlords and agents. So they will tell you which section to serve, and that's all well and good. But you will find that tenants still have great rights and the balance is still in their favor. So it's going to be tough. So whilst you can trigger that process, and you should, because it might be a month or 2 months notice, what you also want to do is always just have a good chat with the tenant and see if they are aware that they're breaking the terms of the tenancy. Okay, they might be unaware, and see what they want to do about it. Put it on them a little bit. So rather than calling up, you're not allowed to have a dog, you could just literally say, hey, I think I've noticed that you've got a pet. Are you aware that that's against the terms of the tenancy? And if they say yes, then you can explain why. Look, unfortunately, due to it being a house share, we can't allow pets. If other tenants have allergies, etc., it's really, really tough. So therefore, perhaps you need to find another more suitable house share. Don't want you to go out right now. I'll help you. We can do it. But this isn't the house share for you. Then you just really got to hope that they're going to take your word for it and they're going to listen. Because if they're not going to listen and they dig their heels in, you're going to have to go option number 1, which is the notices, and you could be waiting a while. Before you know it, you're having to do evictions. And then another top tip, which we have done before, is sometimes it's actually good to pay people to leave. So if people are reluctant to leave, or they're digging their heels in and it starts to get messy, you can actually say, look, you've not paid your rent this month. If you can leave before Friday, you won't need to. Okay, so you'll have had this month's rent free. I just really could do with you, moving on, because it's not suitable for pets. So Helen, I hope you found that useful. I mean, I've had situations where, people have asked me for pets. I've had situations in SAs where there's been a cat in there and they've denied it, and I've looked up at the window and I can see there's a cat. It's one of those things. So be nice, be kind, but be firm. Use the legal things that you've got, and above all, try and be reasonable and come to an agreement with them, because that's always the best route to a solution. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.